Welcome back to the Forgive Yourself podcast. Today, I am speaking with someone who brings both lived experience and deep healing wisdom to a topic that so many women face, but often suffer through in silence. I am joined today by the incredible Beth Carroll, a compassionate, no-nonsense guide for women navigating life after divorce. Beth is a divorce recovery coach, and she specializes in helping women over 50 heal and rebuild after the shock of an unexpected divorce. After her own 25-year marriage ended without warning, Beth walked through the fire herself. She turned to subconscious reprogramming and somatic healing to reclaim her voice, her confidence, and ultimately her joy. Now she helps other women do the same through her powerful Rise and Reclaim coaching program and belief breakthrough audits. Beth is certified in rapid reprogramming and trained in positive psychology and somatic processing. But more than that, she brings heart, lived wisdom, and a deep belief that healing doesn't have to take years. Transformation can happen in months, and she's living proof. Welcome back to the Forgive Yourself podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Yeah, you are so welcome. I am so happy. Every time I talk with you, I just feel joy. Yeah, and I'm so happy. I mean, we only met earlier this year, and it feels like we've known each other for a long time.
It does. It does. I feel very close to you, and I'm so thrilled that I met you in February.
I know. It
Great.
just seems it just seems like forever,
Yeah.
And I love that when we have those instant connections,
So special. Yeah.
it is so, so special. And especially when not only personally do we get along so well, but our work also goes hand in hand together.
It does. Definitely. Yeah, no, it's amazing. Very
I know. I
grateful.
love
Very
that.
grateful.
Me too. So I would like to share with our listeners about what you do in the sense of you work with midlife women, okay, who've been blindsided by betrayal or divorce. And this is after decades. So you specifically are like, hey, after 20, 25 years, you're blindsided.
Right.
Can you speak to what a woman like that would be feeling like? What is the emotional aftermath or physical kind of, and you, like your story, what did you go through? What shows up?
It's kind of like being hit by a bus out of the blue. I mean, physically, emotionally, it is everything. You go to bed at night, you're in a committed marriage, and you wake up in the morning and that is completely gone. And it tears down everything. I mean, you lose your identity, you physically just go into that deep grief and shock. And it is debilitating, it's disorienting. And it's overwhelming. So, and that was my experience. I lost my identity. You lose your identity as a wife. We worked together. So I lost my job. And again, it had been something that I thought I was in a committed marriage. And all of a sudden, I am not anymore. I'm not even in a marriage anymore. I'm not a wife. So it's spiritually, you can just believe that you've been forgotten. Nobody cares for you. Terrible things happen to you. Physically, you have all the physical signs of trauma. And emotionally, you are just in deep, deep grief. It is a very dark place and very hard to get out from, to dig out from, in my
Yeah.
experience.
No, I think thank you for describing that. And it's hard to feel that to go through, because I imagine you felt so alone too.
Yes, very alone. Nobody understands. It's not an amicable divorce. It's something that's completely out of your control. This was not my choice. I did not choose this. I did not participate in this decision. This was made for me, and now my entire life is going to change because of it. And that's what my clients go through is, just figuring out, who am I now? Where do I go? What do I do next? And everybody's situation is different, but there are so many different things to navigate, and you're single now. And yeah.
Well, especially after that long, when you're together with someone, I mean, you guys, you know each other so well, or you thought you did.
Mhm.
And then there's usually kids involved. like
Yeah.
you had children involved.
Yeah.
And so you're navigating your own feelings and identity. And then now you've got the kids who are probably older,
Yes.
if you've been together that long. And so I would imagine, how does that look for women that you help, like when there's children, or like even yourself, where your children were older?
Yeah, there's a big challenge with that because a lot of my clients, their children are older and have children. So a lot of my clients are already grandparents, and navigating having to deal with what their spouse has done, and that their children may or may not continue a relationship with that spouse, and the
Yeah.
pain of that, or the kids feeling like they have to choose sides, and just really getting yourself as the woman to a sense of firm groundedness, and that you can handle whatever your family is going to look like moving forward. But that takes a lot of healing. It takes a lot
Yeah.
of work and a lot of really digging in and releasing a lot of the beliefs and the pain that have happened because of this sudden divorce. Because the divorce takes you back to, if you ever had any feeling of I'm not good enough, or nobody wants me, I'm not lovable. I mean, the minute this happens, you are back in that spot instantly. And all of those beliefs that you've been carrying with you and still functioning pretty well, even though you've been carrying them with you, you just go right back to that place of I'm a failure. Nobody will ever want me.
So
So,
that's the identity that you speak of? That's like
yes.
that identity loss?
Yeah. Yeah. So when you
Uh,
can really ground yourself and do all of that healing work, then you can really be present for your children and your grandchildren and move forward however that looks, because they also have decisions to make when this happens. And they might not be the decisions that you necessarily would wish they would choose.
yeah. Did you, how was it with your kids? Do you mind my asking? How was it? Was it a challenge to navigate, their relationship with their dad and with you? Or was it like an easier because they were older?
They were 15 and 21. It wasn't
Oh,
easy. They
no,
were
I
still
know.
younger. They're adults now, they're older now,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was difficult because their whole family, my daughter was at college, my son was still home, and their whole family sort of blew up overnight. So it's been quite a challenge for them to figure out how to relate to their dad. And that's a whole nother that's a whole nother piece that it's hard, and for me to just be able to be supportive that they get to choose whatever is best for them. But it took me a while to get to that place where I'm okay with that.
I
You know,
bet.
I want what is
Well,
best for them, and they get to choose that.
and I bet you it would be challenging, like with any divorce, no matter how many years, when there's kids.
Hmm.
It's also about keeping your feelings about it
Hmm.
and not kind of projecting onto them the anger or the frustration, or that he's a, you know, a bad person,
He
or
did this. Yeah, he did this
yeah,
to me. How can you
yeah,
connect with him when he did this to me? And then I
yeah.
think they have a piece of that. The younger kids definitely have the piece of that where it's like, dad did this to mom. How can I connect with him? The older children have more of a separation, more of an understanding of marriage and different, they have different perspectives. But the kids that are still home, it's a struggle for
Mm.
them. Mom is so hurt no matter how much you try to hide it or try to put on that happy face. I mean, they know. And
Mm.
how they move through that. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot involved.
Well, there is, and I think that that's important, and I know you address that with your clients
Mhm.
too, as far as, and I think, even planning. I know that I'm gonna encourage people to check out your information, because I know you've got, like, a little program you've developed about that with the kids,
Yes.
with yes, so I think that that's gonna be really valuable, especially just to get people to understand how to even get started, because I think when you're feeling like you said, like devastated, you're just gutted with
Hmm.
this information. And I know that's what you specialize in, these women that are kind of shocked by it. And then navigating the kids, but really just getting yourself to a place that you can even help others. And I know you talked about the subconscious reprogramming, which fascinated me when you told us, like, okay, tell me about that. Because you didn't say hypnotherapy, you said subconscious reprogramming. And of
Mhm,
course, somatic, which I'm used to somatic, but you call them somatic tools. So
mhm.
I am curious about because you did that for your own
Yes.
healing and
Yeah.
moving forward. And so, can you tell us about your approach? One, what did you experience in the subconscious reprogramming and somatic tools? And then, what does that look like for a client of yours?
Yeah. So this is how I got better, how I healed, how I got back on
Yeah.
my feet after everything happened. And I tried everything. I went to therapy, I took yoga classes, I was walking, I did journaling, positive affirmations in the mirror in the morning. And I just wasn't getting better. I was getting maybe some insights, but there was no action to help me move forward and move up and out of what I was feeling. And then I found rapid reprogramming and which is subconscious reprogramming.
Okay.
And it opened up my whole world. I mean, it just in 3 sessions, like it totally changed my life. And it's just dealing with the beliefs that you're carrying that keep
Okay.
you in pain. And when you introduce to your brain a different way of thinking, so it's sort of the way your brain has a belief, it runs along on autopilot, it runs along a familiar path. And when you start to suggest new pathways to that and then show it proof, you create a new path. And then as you begin to work it and practice it, that new path takes over and that old
Mhm.
one is gone. So you begin to really, it's active change. You really start to feel good. You feel good in yourself. You see everything differently. You see everything with hope. You see possibility. Your brain is is allowing you. You're doing the work so that you can see all of the potential in yourself and in your life moving forward. Because at the end of the day, getting hurt like this, it's not really that they leave, it's how they leave. And it's the how that sets you all the way back to I did something wrong. I'm worthless. I must mean nothing. I don't matter. And when you start to work that out, you don't you learn that what you really want is to be wanted. You aren't necessarily you want an ideal. You're missing an ideal. You're not missing something that was real. And you start to do this work and that starts to become clearer and clearer and you start to own it and you start to embody it. And then with the somatic tools, with breath work and going in and finding this in your body and processing it and releasing it again, it's a release. That's where everything comes together and you just feel hopeful. You feel good,
Well, I like
gentle.
that you well, I no, I like that because what I'm hearing you say then is that shame and that guilt or
Mhm.
self-blame that we're having, like, as we can have as women, right? I think we also take that on, but also reverting back to I'm not good enough. Why doesn't he love me? Why does
Right,
or if there's betrayal, what's wrong with me? What is it about her? Why would he love her and not me?
right.
Kind of thing. And so
Kicked to the curb.
kick to
The
the
yeah, the kick to the curb feeling. Mhm.
Well, yeah, and I like hearing about that because there are tools that don't take a long time
Right.
depending upon the circumstances and the person, I would imagine, and their story. So
Yes.
being able to kind of take each person individually and go, okay, this one might take a little longer, but this one may not.
Mhm.
When it comes to what they have experienced growing up or what the beliefs are there. What I love about this is that it helps with that self-blame.
Mhm. And the
Did you
shame.
and the shame because that
Yes.
that really keeps us stuck hard.
It's hard, and it's hard to be left, and it's hard to tell people that you were left, and it's hard to accept the fact that you were left, and you can very easily go into that victim mode of bad things always happen to me. I must have done something to deserve this. And I call it kitchen sinking. You can throw every bad thing that ever happened to you and start to, see a pattern of bad things happening to you. And your subconscious grabs hold of that and makes thought your reality. And when you start to unpackage that and break that open, it shifts and bad
Yeah.
things don't happen to you. And you did not cause this. And the shame lifts and the guilt that maybe you should have tried harder, that starts to go away. And you really can step into your purpose and your joy and leave this behind.
I love that, bringing in the hope and the possibility.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you go through the rapid reprogramming, um, a quick question about that
Yeah.
is, do they have to revisit the pain?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't have to. We don't
Yeah.
spend time digging through your childhood and trying to find out where all this happened.
Mm.
We take it right where you are right now and that it's happening right now, and we're gonna change that.
Oh,
So it feels like magic. I call it the magic a lot, and you can really let go of what happened and you can start focusing on the what's next because you're dealing right in the now. Like I'm believing this right now and I'm going to find evidence that it's not true right now. And then I'm going to move into the now and the what's next. So
oh,
it's no, we don't spend hours talking about abusive relationships or things that
oh,
happened that were unfair. And the other thing that's really important is we don't spend a lot of time talking about your ex. We don't
not
talk about why he did this. We don't talk about it's really not about that. This is all about you. This is all about the woman and healing you and what is next for you. And that's really important. I don't use the term narcissist and we don't spend a lot of time talking about him because it doesn't matter. What
I
happens
love
is where you are right now and how we're going to get you up and out and back to living your life.
Oh, see, I that's one of the things that resonated so well for me because it really mirrors the forgiveness work that I do. It's
Mhm.
like we're not focusing so much on the past. We take those beliefs, we find those, but then we need to really be now, not
Yeah.
in the past. And so many of us women, that's where we go, right? With the, I'm not good enough, I don't matter. It's that's hard to not
Mhm.
go there. So I love that this brings it present and where we wanna go. So this
Yeah.
is beautiful. And I
Yeah.
know
Thanks.
speaking of forgiveness, I know that we, of course, we've talked about it.
Mhm.
And I know that forgiveness has been a cornerstone of your healing process yourself and the work that you do. Can we talk about what did self-forgiveness look like for you, and how do you help other women? Is it something that you bring forth with them? But how, like, I know that because it has a lot to do with the beliefs, right?
Right.
That they somehow caused this or did they deserved what happened? Do you work with them on this, and how do you do that?
Yeah. We have a whole module on that because that's a really important piece is letting yourself off the hook. When this
Yeah.
happens, you can go right into, you can think of, I should have made a better dinner last night. I should have, you know, been on that phone call. I should have shown up. I should have not asked him to pick up the kids when I had a headache. Like you can make it so de minimis of how, like just down to the minute detail of how you might have caused this. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of going and looking at that and
Yeah.
forgiving yourself because you did the best you could with what you knew in that moment. And I can't say that enough. You didn't know this was happening. You didn't know you were on treacherous ground. You didn't know that this was imminent. You were living your life as a woman in a committed marriage, and you had a relationship based on
Mhm.
those things being true.
Yeah.
So spending the time to go back in and really look at yourself and forgive yourself for anything that you feel that you did to cause this is key to moving forward because until you forgive yourself you really can't do much else. You have to
Yeah.
let yourself off the hook.
How was your process with that self-forgiveness? What helped you with that?
Really understanding that I was doing the best I could at the time and that I
Mhm.
didn't do anything to cause this, and that looking at my behaviors and my, even the days, leading up to this happening, I had to go in and just say I was operating in this framework with this knowledge. And these are the choices I made in that framework with this knowledge. And all of that was okay. It came from a good place. It came from an honest place. It came from a loving place. And as
Yeah.
you really start to look at that, it sort of just kind of, you reprogram it and it falls away,
Oh,
and
I love that.
yeah, they don't want anybody to walk out carrying any kind of guilt or belief that they caused it, no matter
That's
what.
really good. Right. Well, because they didn't.
No, and
This,
you don't deserve to be disrespected by this. Again, it's not that they leave, it's how they leave. Nobody did anything to deserve this level of disrespect.
yeah.
You don't deserve it. If you had a
Well,
bickering marriage, if you had a fight, like, you don't deserve it. You deserve information. You deserve to be a part of the process.
well, and I think the important thing, I love how you say that it's how they left.
Mhm.
And that that it is part of this process, because one of the most important things I think I learned through my divorce was the fact that I didn't do anything wrong
No.
to make him have an affair,
Yeah.
right? That was a choice that he
Yep.
made, and that he probably would have done it no matter what. Even if we were
Mhm.
busy with the kids separate, even though felt we were growing apart, all these things that I was running through my mind that I could have, like you just said, like I could have done differently.
Mhm.
It was so good to know and to really embody the fact of, honey, there was nothing you could have done. That was
Mhm.
a choice based on his decisions, not yours.
Yeah. I mean,
And
they
I,
just make that choice. I had a client when I first started working with her. She was convinced that if she had closed the garage door more often, I guess it was a bone of contention between them, that he never would have had an affair. He never would have left and met somebody else. I mean, that's how I don't even know the word for it. Like, I don't want to judge it, but sort of insignificant. We can
yeah,
take it down to the fact that somebody could
yes.
leave us because we don't close the garage door enough. And we
Hmm.
beat ourselves up and take it down to just every little tiny thing. And this was
Yes.
his choice. You had
Yeah.
no control over this. And now it's about taking back control and seeing what you can control.
Yeah. So on that, let's talk about what's possible. So for a woman right now who's in the thick of heartbreak, what kind of transformation with you, because you've talked about it throughout our time here, but what kind of transformation could she hope for, and how does she begin, or how would she begin to shift her focus from what happened, right,
Mhm.
from there,
Mhm.
to
So
what's
it's
next? So what would you say to a woman who's like in the heartbreak right now, and
all
how
of
could she shift?
all of the obsessive thinking that you're having where you're stuck and you replay things over and over. My One of my clients right now calls it stuck mountain. She just says she needs to get off of stuck mountain.
Oh,
And when you're experiencing that, there is a way out of that by changing that thinking, by releasing it, by doing the work necessary so that you're not waking up in the morning thinking about this,
mm,
waking up in the middle of the night thinking about this, going over it and over in it. If only I'd done this. I should have done
mm,
this. He
mm.
should have done this. I should have. If only I could. These are the behaviors where they text and they're begging and all of the things because they're just so lost. And
Yeah.
you can get relief from that so that it does not come back. You can do the work necessary so that you begin the day thinking about you and things that matter for you and what your life looks like for you. And I know I lost my job. My parents died right around the time that my husband left. So I was no longer a daughter, all of this. And there's a way to just, as you do the healing work, is you still have a lot of life left. There's a lot of living to be done, and you get to define what that looks like. You are in control, and you can be empowered to move into that with confidence and with grace and let all of that berating yourself and feeling terrible about yourself behind.
I love that. Well, and that's a
Yeah.
good place to start, is just like noticing where you're berating yourself like that. And
Yes.
that to make that choice and go, wait a second, it wasn't me. Hold on a
No.
minute.
And
And
it
just
doesn't have to be
starting
this
there.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. Just starting there, I think is a beautiful place. So thank you for that.
Hmm.
That is
Yeah.
wonderful. And as we come to our close here, I know we could talk forever. it's
Yeah.
like it's like okay, I know I have so many more questions, so we'll have to have you back. But I do want to share. You have something you want to offer to the audience for those. I know there's a limited offer here, but there's an offer, this audit that you give. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, and this is a great place to start. It's called the Belief Breakthrough Audit. And I'll send you exercises and you will do the writing that's requested in the exercises and send it back to me. And then I will go through it and I will send you a Loom video with me going through and showing you where your beliefs are. And it's a really good place to start seeing where all this programming that you have is keeping you on stuck mountain, where it's keeping you stuck. So I have that and that's a great first step. And I'm offering that with the code forgive at
Yeah.
65% off. So it'll be like $28 to
Oh,
do it.
nice.
Yeah, and it's a great place to start to understand what's holding you back.
This is great. And I know that there's like 10 spots available. So because
Yes.
yeah, this sounds like it's very thorough. And I
Mhm.
think it'd be a beautiful place to start. So thank you for offering that to
Thanks.
the audience. And
Yeah.
I'd like to talk a little bit about your program, your VIP, your Rise and Reclaim program. And just can you tell us a little bit about that? And then we will also link that in the show notes too.
Oh, great. Yeah. So that's a VIP. It's a one-on-one coaching program. And it's meeting with me once a week for coaching, but it also includes lessons. I have videos, workbooks. I've written lessons also. So different learning styles. If you like to read it, you can read it. If you want to listen to it, you can listen to it. And
Nice.
then there's a workbook with every lesson that goes through all kinds of questions and exercises to help you really excavate and get down into these beliefs. And then there's a very specific process that we use to help you reprogram these beliefs. And it also includes meditations. There are a lot of enrichment writing exercises. And again, based on your specific situation, I have different things that I can offer and suggest, and all kinds of somatic tools that also help with whatever place you are in this healing journey.
Oh,
And
I love
it's 10 to 12 weeks
okay.
is about how long the program usually runs.
Well, that's really good to get the results that you provide for people.
Mhm.
That's where it doesn't take years. It can
No.
be to get going and to be able to get that hope and to get that just possibility again. 10 to 12 weeks is a great investment of time. And then
Yeah.
we will also, you want people to connect with you through a discovery or a connection call. So we will
Yes.
link that in the show notes too.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
wait. Yeah.
I know, I'm excited. Okay, so I hope this conversation with Miss Beth here gave you a sense of what's possible, even after the kind of heartbreak that feels like it could shatter you. Whether you're walking through betrayal right now or still trying to make sense of a past relationship ending, remember, your story doesn't stop here. You get to reclaim your identity. You get to rewrite your next chapter. And yes, you get to forgive yourself, not because you did anything wrong, but because healing asks you to let go of what was never yours to carry. Now, if this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who might need it. And if you're ready to do this work in a deeper way, I invite you to check out Beth's work, and we'll have the links in the show notes. And you can reach out to me. We're both here to walk alongside you. And until next time, be kind to yourself because you're worth it. Thank you, Beth, so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brenda. This was great.
Thank you so much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy it, would you do me a favor and share this episode and then follow us on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss one episode of the Forgive Yourself podcast, where every Friday you will get tips, tools, and stories so that you can turn your pain into peace. Take care.